high number, but my sharpest out has adjusted significantly. That tells me that, especially for NHL, which doesn't get a ton of volume, that the square book is getting one-way action on the favorite, and the sharp book that doesn't get a lot of volume will not have the risk balance the sharp action out. So LA is as legit as they come. Win or lose, at plus 135 or better, you're definitely getting the sharp side. Don't know your opinion on that. You know more about NHL than I do. Then in the NBA, two dogs and a favorite. They took the Miami Heat at +8. They took Minnesota at +1.5. And they laid the 8.5 and the 9 on the Sacramento Kings. Finally, college basketball, three sides in a total for you. 663, Samford, pick 'em. 668, Maryland, -4.5. 734, Mississippi State, pick 'em. And finally, 718, under 146, Oklahoma State, Kansas State. No surprise. Usually see those more high-profile games shaded towards the over. These guys almost always come in on the under.
The New York Knicks have won 4 games in a row, and strangely, the last 2 games they landed on 143. Impressive that they got to 143, to say the least, but even more impressive that they did that exact number twice in a row. Now we have the Knicks on a 4-game win streak, and they're playing Denver on a 2-game losing streak. Now, if this was a hockey game, Steve, if this was a hockey matchup, I'm all over Denver. I'm sitting there and I'm going, we got a great team that just won 4 in a row. Then they lost 2 in a row. This is their 3rd road game. They have, hung out on the road. As the road games progress, teams actually do better. 3rd road game, off of 2 losses. Happy, fat, and sassy New York Knicks team with 4 straight wins. If this was hockey, I'm all over Denver. Where are you going?
Yeah, I think in any sport, whenever you have a quality team in a focused spot, they're worth a look. So the question becomes, are the Nuggets still a quality team? They're just 28-18 straight up, 24-22 against the spread. Knicks are 31-16 this year, but they're only 24-23 against the spread. So the betting markets have been pretty accurate, both of these teams, despite being a combined 25 games above 500 straight up. They're only 3 games above 500 against the spread. I'm going to look at the total for the free play here. And by the way, I do have a strong best bet on the side in this game. That's available right now. I've got 2 best bets tonight in the NBA. The side is one of them. So I'm going to look at the total for this game. But one thing I do want to point out is that it's very hard to score, like you said, 143 points back-to-back nights. And the Nuggets, meanwhile, off the back-to-back losses, the big problem has been the defense. They shot 49 and 52% of their 2 losses. The problem is they gave up 56 and 50%. So regardless of who you like on the side here, I think you have to look for the offense to come back down to earth for the Knicks, and you have to look for defensive intensity from the Nuggets. The Nuggets did have a day off between Chicago and New York, focus on the defense and rest. And you're paying a premium here in the total. It's currently 242.5, so we get plenty of wiggle room to the under. And one thing I love about the WagerTalk free live odds screen is the openers button. You can click on the openers, and I'll do it right now. You'll see Circa open 240.5. Bet Online Offshore open 246.5. Some other books open 243.5. I mean, this has been all over the place, which I think shows the uncertainty of this price range. I like the under in this game. It's an ESPN national TV game tonight at 7:40 Eastern. I think there'll be defensive intensity from both teams. And even though the Knicks have scored 143 in back-to-back games, they still only rank 24th in the league in tempo and pace of play out of 30 teams. They're not a fast-paced team. Look at under 242.5 present. By the way, I normally say play the highest totals over, as you know. So I'm going against that a little bit here, but I think this total is inflated based on the recent high-scoring Knicks games, bad defensive games by Denver. We get some value now under 242.5. And once again, my strongest play on this game is a best bet side for my clients. And I'm number 1 all-time in the NBA, including up 160 units the last 2 years on NBA side. So check that out at WagerTalk.com.
Oklahoma City, Golden State. Minus 10.5 of this road team. They've only covered this number. They've only covered this number against Golden State once, and it was 2 games ago. Once in the last many, many times. 2 games ago, They covered it by 0.5 point. Look, it's Oklahoma City. We're clearly seeing a change of the guard. Golden State used to rule the roost. They no longer do. Oklahoma City is the pride of the NBA right now. But this just does feel slightly high on the line to me. Where are you going?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, we're doing this at about 12:15 Eastern, this, breakdown of this game right now for late night tonight at 10 o'clock Eastern ESPN game. And the injury report has not been submitted yet for the Warriors. But if you look at where this line stands, obviously the betting markets think they will be missing some key guys. And the logic there is that they played a game last night. And they actually got a win last night against a hapless Utah Jazz team. And Golden State was a 13.5-point favorite last night. Same location one day later, they're a 10-point dog, a 23-point difference in the point spread with no site change in one day. That's pretty extreme no matter who's on the court. The thought is they'll be resting their older players, obviously Curry and stuff, these back-to-backs. But with that said, it is a spotlight ESPN national TV game. So the league does not want that. Whether they have any say or not, we'll find out. I think at this point, it's all baked into the number, and there's really nothing but upside maybe with Golden State at +10. Not a game that's going to make my client card. I've got 2 strong best bets tonight. This is not one of them because, once again, the biggest edge you have as a sports bettor is they have to put lines on every game. You don't have to play every game, and there's just too much uncertainty, at least at this point. But one thing we have seen is that shorthanded teams often overperform with that adjusted line value in the NBA. And I also not so sure Oklahoma City will be fully focused for this game. Because, as you mentioned, they've been crushing teams this year. The spot to play them was against Portland a few nights ago because they were off a loss against Dallas, and that was on Sunday, the only game on the board Sunday. They won by 10. They didn't cover as a 14-point favorite. In fact, they didn't cover against that Utah Jazz team a few games back as a 16-point favorite. They only won by 9, and they actually lost outright against Dallas as a favorite a few games before that. Their 2 losses have both been against Dallas, the most recent as a 12-point favorite. Bottom line, they're just 1-4 ATS their last 5. So I do think you're paying a premium going forward with OKC, and this line is inflated on top of that. Hold your nose. I really can't make a subjective reason for it otherwise, but Golden State +10, this line looks a little too high for me.
We got Mississippi State hosting Alabama, a real short line, -1.5, but a very big total at 165. How do you suggest we bet this game?
Yeah, a little bit of movement on this game so far. This is a 9 o'clock Eastern game tonight on Wednesday. SEC Network, 2 top 15 ranked teams. So it's one of the best games on the board. And we have seen a little bit of money coming on Mississippi State and the under in this game. Opened as high as 166. It's down to 165. Even 164.5 at Circa, which is one of the sharper books in Vegas. So a little bit of sharp money on the under here. And I do think that correlates to the Mississippi State side, which we have seen gone from pick'em up to now 1.5 in most spots. And it makes sense. Alabama is the fastest paced team in the country. There are 364 Division I basketball teams, and Bama plays faster than any of them. Mississippi State about 180. So they're right in the middle of the pack. So home teams normally control tempo a little bit better. So I do think they can slow things down a bit here. They don't want to get into a track meet with Alabama. So a little bit of a money to the under and the home team makes sense. And I do lean towards the home team here. Mississippi State takes excellent care of the basketball, one of the best turnover teams in the country as far as not turning the ball over. And Bama, despite playing really fast, ranks only 339th in turnover percentage. They don't force a lot of turnovers. The fast pace is more on offense, and I do think Mississippi State holds the edge defensively at home in this game. It would be an upset from the rankings, but as you see from the point spread, it wouldn't be. I think Mississippi State and the under are definitely correlated in this game at 9 Eastern tonight.
All right, let's talk Kyle Kuzma. I'm going under 1.5 made 3-pointers on this guy. He's gone under in 17 out of the last 22 games, and this guy's shooting 21% from threes this season. That is truly awful. He's averaging 4.6 attempts on the season, but the only times recently that he has gone over this total, he's attempted 7+ 3-pointers. That's how bad he's shooting. He needs to shoot 7 threes just to have a chance to hit 2. So I'm rolling with Kyle Kuzma under 1.5 made 3-pointers here in this one. And this is one of those where if it hits tonight, if he goes over, you just come back and keep playing it. This is one of those that we're going to play 4, 5, 6, 7 times in a row. Prez is very similar to Julius Randle. We made a killing betting against Julius Randle. He went 12 games in a row under 1.5 made 3-pointers. We lost it last time. Doesn't matter. We went 5-1 playing that streak. So that's how you play some of these streaks here on Kyle Kuzma. So one of the keys in golf when you're playing head-to-head matchups is you want to start looking at guys you want to bet against, not guys that you want to bet on. It's much easier to fade these guys that are in big slumps. Victor Hovland is in a horrible slump. He is playing absolutely terrible right now, Prez. This is a direct quote from him. About a year ago, he changed his swing. They asked him about it 2 weeks ago because he's been terrible. And he said, quote, "I made a very poor decision." He is not playing elite golf right now. He is 8th to worst in this field in total strokes gained this year. He finished 7 shots behind Sam Burns at the Century. Then he went over to the European Tour and he missed the cut. When you're missing the cut on the European Tour in that watered down field, your game is horrifically off balance. Sam Burns is just playing much better. Sam Burns is actually 7th in this field in total strokes gained the last 6 months. Victor Hovland is going to be a fade for a while until he figures out his swing. And I've watched him, and Perez, his drive is all out of whack. He brings the club up to his shoulders, then he stops, thinks about it, and then swings through. It is a train wreck watching Victor Hovland. So what do? We're just going to fade Victor Hovland for the time being. All right, Luke Humphreys is playing Joe Cullen, and we're going to take over 5.5 180s in this match. So this is a tournament where they play sets. So each set consists of 3 legs. So what we're going to have here, Prez, is a lot of games being played. I think this 5.5 is set way too low. Humphreys is the big favorite, but he's not been in great form. He lost in his last match pretty easily, and I think Cullen keeps this close. Since this is best of 5, I think we get a lot of games and a lot of legs out of this one. Last match Cullen played in, they threw 20 180s, not 5.5, 20. And the last time Humphreys and Cullen played, now granted, it was in 2023. It was best of 7. They threw for 24 combined 180s. We only need them to get to 6 in this one. So both these guys can throw 180s. Their averages suggest that if this game is remotely close and it goes a little bit, we're going to get over this one. So Humphreys and Cullen, there's your free play for the darts tournament that starts Thursday.
But we're right back at it tonight. The run continues. 23-7. My last 30 NHL plays up double-digit profits on the year. And I do have a bet tonight that I really do like. I will be giving it out in this segment. I just won't tell you which one it is. But you guys could go grab that for only $15. Okay, let's start right now with the LA Kings playing Florida. So right off the bat, I really like Florida in this spot at minus 140. It's a soft number. And this Florida team, lost to Vegas 4-1. And, I feel like the LA Kings might be a slight fade team moving forward. I think they're playing above their heads. They have been all year. So I'm going to look to take Florida minus 140. What the hell is going on here? It's Wednesday. Oh my God, Prez. It is Wednesday. It is Florida minus 140. Toronto playing Minnesota. Love the Leafs tonight. Great spot, minus 165 to minus 170. Bottom line here is the Leafs have lost 2 games in a row. Anytime the Leafs, Carolina, Colorado, Florida, Dallas, Edmonton, anytime those teams lose 2 in a row, it's almost must bet on that third game. And the beauty about that is if they lose the third game, so let's say you put 2% on the Leafs winning tonight and they lose, come right back the next Leaf game with a 3% play because those teams, all of them, are not going to go on long extended losing streaks. New Jersey playing Philadelphia. Absolutely love the Devils in this spot, but I also really like under the total of 5.5 in this spot. Philadelphia is going to be an under team moving forward. New Jersey is an under team as well. I know they have a backup goalie in that, Jake Allen, but Philadelphia is not some juggernaut scoring offense, so it kind of neutralizes itself there. I like the under in this game. I like New Jersey. I think we're going to see a 3-1 hockey game. Now let's talk Vancouver and Nashville. Vancouver is a bet on team moving forward, guys. This is a team that hit the skids. This team killed it last year. They got the same roster as they did last year this year, and they really went through a real ugly 6-week period. Now they've won a couple in a row. They're playing better hockey, and there's better shit coming out of their dressing room. Huge feud between JT Miller and Elias Pettersson. I think that's behind us now. And I think Vancouver is a bet on team moving forward. They are plus 120. And lastly is Pittsburgh and Utah. If you're not betting against Pittsburgh every night, you should really consider another sport. This Pittsburgh team is in a total free fall. Not only that, but there's so much negative stuff coming out of the locker room. It's insane. Kyle Dubas, their general manager, is going to firehouse this entire team. You got to take Utah here minus 150. And I also like the over a lot in this game. That's the entire breakdown of the hockey card tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed it.